Today's video started with the intention of being a simple project, but unfortunately was one that just did not go to plan. What started out as an idea to manufacture a fine wooden watch box with my DIY CNC router saw failure over and over. Now I'm ready to put this project behind me though, having gained a lot of experience the hard way. So, if you're keen to see what lessons I have learnt, please watch on. It's going to be an interesting one. But if you came to see the manufacture of a fine wooden watch box, I'd look away now.
Having recently completed a couple of watch-related projects, my collection's grown quite substantially. Unfortunately, I don't have a good storage solution for this number of watches though. Now, I could just buy one, or I could 3D print one, but I've recently finished my DIY CNC router, so let's make something with that. So after looking at what is available to get some inspiration, I decided on a style and created a design in Fusion which can accommodate 10 watches. While ultimately this watch box will be made out of hardwood, I am going to use 3D printing to help out a little bit. Specifically, I need to work out what the dimensions need to be for each watch slot. So 3D printing was used to rapidly turn around some parts that I could use to ascertain the ideal length, width and depth of each watch slot. With those dimensions incorporated, I can now think about how I'm actually going to make this. Due to cutting depth limitations of my CNC router, I'm going to have to make this box in multiple layers or slices. So with a particular stock thickness in mind, I head out to the garage and see if I have anything suitable. Turns out I have some Himalayan pine that will be perfect for the job, which only needs a little bit of planing to bring it to a workable thickness. With the machine zeroed, stock secured and program loaded, we're all ready to cut. Okay, maybe not. Fortunately I caught that early, and so it thankfully wasn't destructive. So after a quick change to the program, we're good to try again. At this point I ceased cutting any more of the perimeters, as my plan was to finish those off with a flush trim router bit after the whole part was complete. So now it's on to cutting the slots. Everything was cutting great and looking great, until I found I had a design issue. You see, I'd kind of jumped the gun here. I should have entered into this project with a mindset much like I do with 3D printing. Test, refine, and then test again. But I jumped straight to making the final product, and I wasted all the opportunities that I had to learn and refine the design before committing to it. For example, I had all this perimeter stock that I could have used to test for issues such as this, but I didn't. Lesson learnt. On the plus side, I found the watch pockets were perfectly sized, which was great. But then removing this waste stock, I found another problem. I hadn't yet trammed my machine, and this was clearly showing. This is going to cause me issues in getting square cuts down the road and getting a consistent depth of cut across a width of stock, so something had to be done to address this. Ultimately, I think it was down to the bow in the MDF spoil board that I was using, and so I decided to try and take that bow out by adding a stiffening matrix to the underside of the CNC. After fitting the stiffening matrix, surfacing the spoil board, and tramming the router, I was ready for attempt number 2. Unfortunately, number 2 wasn't to be either.
Whew. Something's happened. It's going so well too. So well. Awesome.
Still not sure what the cause of this one was, but if I had to guess, it was simply the machine lost Z steps and decided to crash into the part. Unfortunately, that means that's another bit of stock out the window. Fortunately, the router wasn't damaged, nor was the machine, but in giving it a once-over, I realised that it's certainly broken in a little bit. All the moving parts of the machine had definitely loosened off, and the eccentric nuts needed to be adjusted. But because of my failure in the design, I actually couldn't do this. So after reprinting and reassembling all of the side plates, I could address this issue of slop in the machine itself. I was also having some issues with the Arduino controller triggering an alarm inconsistently and without cause, so I decided to move to a new controller and beef up all the electrical connections from an EMI perspective. Dust was also becoming quite an annoyance, so I quickly designed something and printed it up to attach to the machine. Due to having an insufficient amount of Himalayan pine left to complete the box, I also made the drastic decision to move to ply. Unfortunately, this is what I think really killed the project in the end. I didn't want to have to thickness and plane and cut to size any more of my nice stock. And I had plenty of ply, so I thought, maybe that would work just as well, said the dumbest person in the room. I may be dumb, but I'd actually got my machine working better than ever. After cutting all the pieces that I need, I was just tasked with removing the excess stock, the tabs, the sanding, and the chip out. Why did I choose ply? But I was slowly progressing through all of these tasks and making my way towards having a finished box.
Oh, shit. Crap. So this is where I'm at. I've cut a corner and I've ended up cutting off a corner. I don't like failure, but I've been at this project and this video for almost a year now, on and off, and I'm pretty over it. It's time to accept defeat so I can be rid of this one both mentally and from a video production perspective. And to completely achieve that, I think there's only one thing left that I can do with this, and that's rid it from its miserable existence.